Hey everyone, I want to have a real talk and vent about something that's been bothering me all week. Why is today's job market so awful? Look at this 2 months old Reddit post called "Accidentally emailed me her secret internal selection guidelines." So it says, I didn't understand what it was at first, but when it dawned on me, the sheer pretentiousness and elitism kinda pissed me off, not gonna lie. And I'm someone who meets a lot of this criteria, which is why the recruiter contacted me, but it still pisses me off. What we are looking for is referring to the end client internal memo to the recruiter, not to the job candidate. The public job posting obviously doesn't look like this. Just wanted to post this to show you how some recruiters are looking at things nowadays. Alright, so first off, how is anybody going to meet this ridiculously long and extreme criteria and compete with that unless they are in the top 10%? So are companies simply looking at the top 10% employees and comparing them to everyone? The first criterion is to attend a top CS program. So if you Google search for how much is a bachelor's degree in CS program at Stanford University, it will tell you that BS Computer Science and Engineering takes 4 years to complete, and Stanford costs about $60,000 a year, slightly more if you are paying full tuition. So college grad will either need to have someone rich enough, ideally their parents, to foot the $240,000 tuition fee, or they have to take out a 6-figure student loan. And even if they did graduate, they have a 50% chance of not even working in the same field of their study. So after spending 14 years from kindergarten to high school in the United States, and 4 more for a grand total of 18 years plus, young adults are still unable to get living wage jobs and have equal opportunity for work. That's why a lot of people think that college is a scam and not worth going at all. If you go, you're done completely, and you could still not get a job due to globalization and AI taking over. Oversaturation in higher education and everyone and their cats going to college competing for entry-level jobs. If you don't, you're being gatekept from getting decent paying jobs and being left behind. The lack of new jobs creation and opportunities to get training, mentorship, job experience will negatively affect this younger generation and the ones that come after. We are seeing the effects of this on millennials. There's a meme out there about millennials living through Y2K, 9/11, a plague, 2 economic recessions, and a possible World War III before they hit 40. And it's ironic because it's true. It's almost like the social economic ladder has been removed from above us, and only those who have climbed it before get to have any success in their working and dating life. How can young adults get ahead if they can't even get their foot in the door in the first place without being discriminated against and punished for existing? 50-60 years ago, someone gave young adults a chance to train them and hire them so they can work and buy their own houses, cars, vacations, yachts, and start their own families and have kids, despite them having zero job experience or college education. Now in 2025, they have forgotten how easy life was for them, and now raises the cost of living and barriers of entry to make it almost impossible, time-wasting and painful for young adults to have any chance in life while they have no guidance or help from their elders and are still trying to figure it out by themselves how to survive through trial and error. I find this very cruel and unusual punishment towards them. And of course, there are complaints about Gen Z not working, not dating, about adults not getting hitched and having kids. Everything stems from the power and control that's red taping everything and making it illegal to be independent and create values and assets that belong to the people. It's already bad enough that the young adults are usually victims of abuse from old adults in their childhood, from forced mutilation of their body parts without the young's informed consent before they reach the age of 18, let alone 25, to physical, psychological, and verbal abuse from their parent, their sibling, and their peers. Now they just want to kick Gen Z while they are down, calling Gen Z weak, lazy, entitled, and other horrible insults to their face, simply based on a select few minority bad apples that they have worked with. Every generation has good and bad people, and of course there are good and bad employees and employers. You should not discriminate against everyone based on aspects of their lives that they can't control, such as when they are born or how old they are, aka their age. Honestly, I'm not against employers for having expectations and demands, especially sky-high ones for their hires. but we are citizens, not slaves. They cannot force us to work for them with paying us low wages, making us work unreasonable work hours, offering horrible work conditions, lack of PPE, lack of workplace safety, wage theft, and other abuses. They can't force people to go to college, get into a ton of debt, waste years of their prime for the benefit of their businesses. They're allowed to not hire anyone based on their free will and decisions. That is fine by me, but don't complain when nobody wants to work for them or quiet quit when working for them. If businesses can't pay living wages or offer reasonable alternative benefits to compensate for low wages, then they don't deserve the young adults' labor. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Real communism is forcing people to work for those in control while they did little to no work and yet benefit majorly from the labor of others. It is bad enough that some businesses make it difficult for job seekers by creating ghost jobs, wasting their time having job seekers to entertain AI, ATS, trying to get HR manager to take a look at their resumes, consider them for job interviews and offers, trying to network and get a chance to become employed despite the nepotism of hiring close friends and families. But it almost seems like every business is creating these high barriers of entry-level job postings, which actually target older and more experienced workers who are job hopping. These entry-level jobs are actually scams because they are not really entry-level, but more akin to senior level positions with requirements of years of experiences and college degrees. Also, with how intense the competition is in the job market, even if you meet 90% of the requirements of these super secret internal selection guidelines, there's a 50% chance you might not even get hired, and there's a chance you could be let go in the future after getting hired and replaced by foreigners, AI, or being fired during a mass layoff. Even if you are a productive employee who diligently complete your tasks and work hard, while those who slack off and gossip and mess around during work hours get to keep their jobs, because it's not about how hard you work, but about the high school popularity contest and how much your peers like you. Isn't it insane how they want to tax workers for their earned income when no one can afford to pay for their necessities, let alone afford having kids or getting hitched? It's almost like a cycle. First, opportunities are gatekept for the privileged. Then employees are paid way less, i.e. unlivable wages, wage theft. Then employees are overworked, followed by high turnover rate, employees quit or quiet quit. Then the complaints about, oh, Gen Z are so lazy and entitled and blah blah blah. Then followed by gay men with zero and spending kids' inheritance. Followed by young 18-year-olds, adults are being kicked out of the house early. Followed by complaints about, oh, how I'm broke, please tax the young adults, the workers who have nothing and give me money for survival. Then the cycle starts all over again. One day we'll say enough is enough, the abuse has got to stop, and we will take action. But for now, we are way too divided and way too passive to do anything about it to improve things for the future. Until the pain of doing nothing exceeds the pain of action, we won't do anything. Also, do you remember the greatest wealth transfer of 2021 to 2023? Remember when there were clock shots and booster mandates? There were lockdowns, mask mandates, contact tracing. You literally can't do a lot of things like entering a building, able to get or hold out a job, buy groceries in the supermarket, travel overseas, sit in groups of 5. You can't even graduate from high school or college if you didn't get your 4th booster shot and show them your proof of clock shots every time you want to do something. Otherwise, there will be laws to fine or jail citizens for violating the mandates. There were so many shop injuries due to the mandate, and many small businesses were bankrupted and or lose tens of thousands during the 2-week lockdown, such as restaurants, even though big businesses were allowed to stay open, as if the virus only discriminates against small businesses. It feels like our future is being stolen from us while everyone watches and do nothing. Everything stems from having no money, no career, no future, no assets, having no kids. Didn't they say you will eat the bugs, live in the pots, own nothing and be happy? This is modern slavery, my friends. There's a saying, the path to hell is paved with good intentions. Evil will always disguise itself as good to justify their crimes against humanity and violation of human rights and informed consent. Evil wins when good people watch and do nothing to stop it. In an ideal world, Gen Z and everyone else have living wage jobs, being able to become independent, to have kids, to own assets, and be free to live their lives without going into debt. But it seems like the world doesn't want this to be true. It is a small group and we are not a part of it. So when Gen Z and future generations become infertile and unable to have kids due to how horrible the economy is and how they are unable to get ahead in life, what then? Will the privileged finally realize what was done to us, that our futures have been stolen from us and our lives ruined before we even get a chance to build our futures? All of our untapped potentials and 2 decades of our life wasted on education just to be replaced by foreigners and AI and being rejected. If this video gets over 30 likes, I will do a part 2 on this issue and offer solutions and alternatives that we can do to change this, and I will upload the video next week. Otherwise, I'm going to focus on other topics and my gameplay. Alright, that's all for today, folks. Here are some questions for you. Do you think the young adults and inexperienced low-wage workers are being taken advantage of, exploited, wage theft for their labor? Are they being paid fairly in today's economy and high cost of living? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please learn some for the goals, and I'll see you all next time. Adios. Thanks for watching.